Old Man Mercy wasn't truly old. Not in the way most would think. He wasn't hunched or frail. His movements were precise, deliberate. Each step he took seemed to carve a space out of the air itself. He wore a long, dark coat that seemed to swallow the light around him. It was as if he carried the coming night with him. His face was a canvas of time and experience. Deep lines etched their way across his forehead, each one a story untold. His eyes were the most unsettling feature. They held a depth that spoke of ancient wisdom, but also a chilling emptiness. He didn't look at you, not really. It was more as if he looked through you. He saw something beyond the surface, something primal and raw that most people kept hidden. And that, more than anything, was what made people uneasy. Old Man Mercy didn't speak much. He didn't need to. His presence was enough to fill a room. It wasn't a loud or boisterous presence. It was something far more unsettling. It was a heavy silence that seemed to press down on you. People felt compelled to fill the silence when he was around. They would babble nervously, their words tumbling over each other. They felt the need to explain themselves, to justify their existence in the face of his silent judgment. His calm demeanor was often mistaken for apathy. But beneath that stillness, there was something else at work. A keen intelligence observed. A silent power simmered beneath the surface. And those who sensed it knew that Old Man Mercy was not a man to be trifled with. Rumours followed Old Man Mercy like shadows. They whispered of strange occurrences, of people getting exactly what they deserved. A cruel businessman found bankrupt overnight. A bully found himself lying in a hospital bed, the victim of a freak accident. No one could prove that he was involved. But the timing was always too perfect, the punishments too fitting. Some whispered of a supernatural ability to influence events, to right the wrongs of the world with an unseen hand. They said he could see the darkness in people's hearts, that he could weigh their sins and deliver a just punishment. Whether these rumours were true or not, one thing was certain. Old Man Mercy was not a man you wanted to find on the wrong side of karma. Old Man Mercy wasn't born with this power. It was a burden thrust upon him. Legend had it that he had once been a good man, a kind man. He had seen the worst of humanity, and it had broken something within him. Some said he had made a deal with a dark entity. Others claimed he had stumbled upon a forbidden knowledge. Whatever the truth, it had left him forever changed. He became the embodiment of karmic retribution, a silent judge dispensing justice with an unflinching hand. He walked a lonely path, haunted by the faces of those he had judged. His existence was a constant reminder of the darkness that lurked within the human heart. Despite his fearsome reputation, Old Man Mercy was not without his own demons. He carried the weight of his judgments heavily. He knew that he was not God. He was not infallible, and yet he continued to judge. There were times when he hesitated, when he saw a flicker of good in even the darkest of hearts. It was in those moments that the true cost of his abilities became clear. He was forced to confront the uncomfortable truth that the line between good and evil was often blurred. He grappled with the knowledge that he was as flawed as those he judged, that he too was capable of great darkness, and that perhaps, in the end, there was no such thing as true justice. The small town of Havenwood had always been quiet, peaceful, a place where nothing much ever happened. That is, until the deaths started. It began with the town bully found dead in his own home. No signs of forced entry, no obvious cause of death, just a cold body and a lingering sense of unease. Then it was the corrupt mayor, found slumped over his desk, a look of terror etched on his face. The whispers started, whispers of Old Man Mercy. He had been seen in town, a dark shadow lurking at the edges of the woods. Coincidence? Or something more sinister? Fear became a tangible presence in Havenwood. Doors were bolted shut, children kept inside. The once peaceful town was now held captive to a growing sense of dread. Thomas Keane, a journalist with a nose for the unusual, had heard the whispers. He had come to Havenwood seeking the truth, drawn by the scent of a story that ran deeper than the headlines. He spent his days interviewing the locals, piecing together a timeline of the strange occurrences. He listened to their fears, their suspicions. He studied the police reports, the autopsy results. Something didn't add up. There was a pattern here, but it was elusive, hidden beneath layers of fear and speculation. He knew that to find the truth, he would have to confront the legend himself. He would have to find Old Man Mercy. Thomas's search led him to a dusty old library. Among the shelves of forgotten books, he discovered a leather-bound journal. Its pages held a handwritten account of Old Man Mercy. His true name, long forgotten, was Elias Croft. The journal spoke of a tragic past, of a love lost, and a deal struck with a being of immense power. As Thomas delved deeper, he realized that Elias never wanted this power. He had been cursed, forced to bear the burden of judgment. But the journal also hinted at a way to break the curse, a way to free Elias from his torment. There was a ritual, a sacrifice that could restore balance, but it was a dangerous gamble, one that could have unforeseen consequences. Armed with this newfound knowledge, Thomas knew he was running out of time. He had to find Elias, to warn him. To understand the truth behind the deaths in Havenwood, was Elias responsible, or was there something else at play? As the fog thickened and the sun began to set, casting long, eerie shadows across the town, Thomas ventured into the woods. He could feel a presence there, watching him, waiting for him. The air grew heavy with anticipation. The hunt for Old Man Mercy was about to begin.